Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me right now. Stop doubting yourself. Stop second guessing your worth. You've been through too much, fought too many battles, and climbed too many mountains to stand here and think you can't handle what's in front of you. Let me tell you something, you got this. You've already proven that you're built for this. You've been knocked down, but guess what? You got back up. You didn't stay on the mat crying, waiting for someone to pick you up. No, you stood tall, bruised, but undefeated. The world doesn't owe you anything, but that's okay, because you don't need a handout. What you need is right inside you, your grit, your determination, your passion. Don't tell me you can't. Don't tell me it's too hard. Hard is what makes it worth it. Hard is where the growth is. I know you've had setbacks. I know the voices in your head sometimes whisper, what if I'm not enough? But I need you to shut that noise down. That voice doesn't know who it's talking to. You are enough. You've always been enough. Every single setback you faced was just preparing you for this moment. Today is not the day to quit. Today is not the day to back down. Today is the day you dig deep, push harder, and rise higher. You've got this because you're not just here to survive, you're here to thrive. And don't wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. You make the moment perfect by showing up and giving everything you've got. Pain is temporary. Doubt, it's an illusion. Fear, it's a liar. So stand up. Lift your head. Fix your crown. You are a warrior, a conqueror, a force to be reckoned with. Let the world throw what it wants at you. You're not backing down. You're not giving up. Why? Because you got this. Now go out there and prove it. Listen, you've got more inside you than you realize. The problem is most of us walk around with blinders on, not seeing the full scope of who we are and what we're capable of. You've been conditioned to think small, to doubt yourself, to play it safe. But I need you to understand something. Inside of you lies untapped potential, a reservoir of strength, creativity, and resilience that's just waiting for you to access it. And think about this for a second. Everything you survived, every hardship you faced, every time you thought you couldn't make it, but somehow did, that wasn't luck. That wasn't chance. That was your power. That was your ability to adapt, to persevere, to rise above the circumstances that were meant to break you. You didn't crumble. You didn't quit. You endured. And that endurance is evidence of the power you hold. The problem isn't that you don't have power. The problem is that you haven't fully recognized it. You've let the opinions of others, the failures of your past, and the fears in your mind convince you that you're ordinary. But ordinary people don't survive the storms you've weathered. Ordinary people don't carry the weight you've carried and still stand tall. So stop treating yourself like you're average. Stop playing small when you've got a big destiny waiting for you. You were designed with greatness in you. It's in your DNA. Look at the world around you, innovation, progress, breakthroughs. They all started with someone like you, someone who decided to stop doubting themselves and start tapping into their power. The question isn't whether you have it. The question is, when are you going to start believing in it? You see, your power isn't just about strength, it's about vision. It's about the ability to see beyond the challenges in front of you and focus on the possibilities. It's about refusing to accept the limits the world places on you and deciding to set your own. And here's the thing, nobody's going to hand you the key to unlock that power. You have to choose to turn the key yourself. Recognizing your power means understanding that you don't have to wait for permission to be great. It means realizing that every excuse you make, every time you say, I can't, you're building a wall between you and your potential. And the moment you decide to tear down that wall, to stop letting fear, doubt, and insecurity control you, is the moment you'll see just how unstoppable you truly are. Your power isn't something external. It's not something you find out there in the world. It's internal. It's already inside you. It's in the choices you make every day, in the moments you decide to push a little harder, to give a little more, to refuse to settle. And the beautiful thing about it, the more you tap into it, the stronger it gets. The more you believe in yourself, the more capable you become. Recognizing your power is about taking responsibility. It's about understanding that no one else is coming to save you. No one else is going to fight your battles for you. That power is yours. It's been there all along. You just have to stop hiding from it and start owning it. Challenges are not your enemy. They're your training ground. They're the moments in life that test you, stretch you, and force you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. Without challenges, you stay stagnant. Without resistance, you don't grow. So while it might be uncomfortable, while it might be painful, you need to shift your mindset and start looking at challenges differently. Think about it. Every great achievement in history was born from some kind of challenge. Every innovator, every leader, every champion had to face obstacles that seemed insurmountable. The difference between them and the rest of the world is they didn't run from their challenges, they leaned into them. They understood that struggle is a part of the process, not a sign to quit. When you face a challenge, it's not life trying to punish you, it's life trying to prepare you. Every obstacle you encounter is a test of your resilience, your discipline, and your determination. It's an opportunity for you to prove to yourself just how strong you are. Challenges are the tools that life uses to mold you, to refine you, to shape you into the person you're meant to be. Without them, you'd never discover the depths of your potential. Challenges reveal your character. When everything is easy, when life is smooth sailing, it's simple to feel good about yourself. But it's in the tough moments, the moments when nothing's going your way, when you feel like you're out of options, that's when your true self shows up. Will you crumble or will you rise? Will you make excuses or will you make adjustments? And let's not forget, challenges are where you learn the most. Every failure, every setback, every roadblock teaches you something. They show you what works and what doesn't. They force you to think creatively, to adapt, to grow. You don't learn how to be strong by sitting on the sidelines. You learn it by stepping into the ring, taking the hits, and refusing to stay down. Sometimes challenges are disguised blessings. That tough job, that difficult relationship, that unexpected detour, they all have lessons hidden inside them. But you'll never find those lessons if you're too busy avoiding the hard stuff. When you embrace challenges, you start to see them for what they really are, opportunities in disguise. Here's the truth: life isn't supposed to be easy. Easy doesn't build champions. Easy doesn't create legacies. If it's easy, it's not worth it. The hard stuff, the things that make you want to quit, the situations that make you question yourself, those are the moments that define you. Those are the moments that separate the average from the extraordinary. You have to stop seeing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Each one is pushing you closer to your goal, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Challenges force you to focus. They force you to prioritize what really matters. They strip away the unnecessary and leave you with one clear choice: fight or fold. It's easy to get discouraged when you're in the middle of a challenge. The weight of it can feel unbearable. But remember this: the bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward on the other side. The tougher the climb, the better the view from the top. And every time you push through, every time you refuse to give up, you're building a version of yourself that's stronger, smarter, and more prepared for whatever comes next. Challenges aren't barriers, they're invitations. Invitations to grow, to rise, to prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And once you start embracing them, once you stop running from them, you'll realize that they were never meant to stop you. They were meant to build you. The process is where the magic happens. It's not glamorous, and it's not always exciting, but it's where success is built day by day, step by step. Too often, people get caught up in the destination. They're obsessed with the end goal, the finish line, the big win. But here's the truth: the destination means nothing if you don't respect the journey. The process is what shapes you, molds you, and prepares you to handle the success when it comes. Focusing on the process means committing to the work, even when it's hard, even when it's repetitive, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's about showing up every single day and putting in the effort, knowing that the small actions you take today will add up to something great tomorrow. Success isn't built in a day. It's built in the daily grind, in the moments when nobody's watching, in the sacrifices you make when no one's clapping for you. Think about it. Every masterpiece, every groundbreaking invention, every world record started with a process. A painter doesn't create a masterpiece in one stroke. A builder doesn't construct a skyscraper in one day. It's brick by brick, stroke by stroke, by step by step, and the same goes for you. Whatever you're striving for, it's not going to come all at once. It's going to come piece by piece, layer by layer, as you commit yourself to the process. The process isn't always pretty. There are days when it feels slow, when you doubt whether the work you're doing is even making a difference. But those are the days that matter most. That's when the seeds are being planted, even if you can't see the growth yet. A tree doesn't sprout overnight. It grows roots first, deep and strong, so it can stand tall later. That's what the process is doing for you, is building your foundation. When you focus on the process, you stop obsessing over how far you have to go. You stop comparing yourself to others who might seem further ahead. Instead, you concentrate on what you can control right now, in this moment. You ask yourself, what can I do today to move one step closer to my goal? That's all that matters, not the end result, but the next step. The process teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you how to keep going, even when it feels like nothing's happening. And those lessons are priceless, because without them, you won't be able to sustain success when you finally achieve it. There's no shortcut to greatness. There's no skipping the hard parts. The process forces you to earn it. And in doing so, it gives you something even more valuable than the result. It gives you strength, character, and resilience. Too many people quit because they don't see immediate results. They start working toward their goal, and when they don't see progress right away, they think it's not working. But that's because they're not focused on the process. They're focused on the outcome. Progress takes time. It's not instant. It's gradual, and sometimes it's so slow that you don't even notice it's happening. But it is. Every workout you do, every hour you spend studying, every small step you take is building momentum, even if it feels invisible. Focusing on the process means trusting that the work will pay off, even when you don't see the results right away. It's about believing in the power of consistency and the compound effect of small actions done repeatedly over time. It's about understanding that success isn't a moment, it's a culmination of all the moments that came before it. When you embrace the process, you stop being a slave to outcomes. You stop letting the fear of failure or the desire for instant gratification control you. Instead, you start to love the grind. You find joy in the work itself, in the act of improving, and the satisfaction of knowing that you gave your all today. The process becomes your reward because you know it's taking you somewhere greater. Focusing on the process is a mindset shift. It's a commitment to the journey, not just the destination. It's understanding that every step, no matter how small, is valuable. It's about being fully present in the moment, giving everything you have to what's in front of you, and trusting that the results will come as a natural byproduct of your effort. The process is where you become who you're meant to be. Doubt is the enemy that lives in your mind. It whispers in the quiet moments, questioning your abilities, your worth, and your dreams. It's the voice that tells you you're not good enough, you'll never make it, or who do you think you are to even try? Doubt doesn't need proof to exist. It thrives on fear and insecurity. But here's the truth: doubt only has the power you give it. If you let it take root, it will grow and choke every bit of confidence you have. But if you confront it, if you silence it, you take back control. Doubt shows up uninvited, often when you're about to step into something big. You know why? Because doubt fears your potential. It sees what you're capable of and tries to stop you before you even get started. It's a defense mechanism to keep you in your comfort zone, to keep you from taking risks. And that's exactly why you can't let it win. Every time you give in to doubt, you shrink. You pull back from opportunities, from growth, from the life you deserve. Silencing doubt starts with understanding where it comes from. Sometimes it's born out of past failures. You messed up before, and now that memory hangs over you, convincing you that you're doomed to repeat it. Sometimes it comes from comparison. You look at others and think they're smarter, faster, or better than you, and suddenly you feel like you don't measure up. And sometimes doubt is planted by the words of others' negative comments, criticism, or rejection that you've internalized over the years. But let me tell you something, doubt is not the truth. Just because you failed before doesn't mean you'll fail again. Just because someone else is further ahead doesn't mean you're behind. And just because someone said you couldn't doesn't mean you can't. Doubt is a lie. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can silence it. You silence doubt by taking action. Doubt thrives on hesitation, on overthinking, on the moments you sit back and do nothing. But the second you start moving, the second you take that first step, doubt begins to lose its grip. Action creates confidence. Every little win, every bit of progress, every goal you accomplish sends a message to that voice in your head: I am capable. I am strong. I can do this. You also silence doubt by changing the conversation in your mind. Start listening to the voice that encourages you, the one that believes in you. That voice is in there too. It's just been drowned out by doubt for so long that you've forgotten it exists. Feed that voice. Remind yourself of your victories, of the times you overcame challenges, of the strength you've shown in the past. Replace the negative self-talk with affirmations of what you can do, not what you can't. Sometimes silencing doubt means stepping away from the people or environments that fuel it. Not everyone around you wants to see you win. Some people will project their own insecurities onto you, making you question your dreams. You need to be mindful of who you're listening to. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who believe in you, who push you to be better. The right environment can make all the difference in silencing that inner critic. It's also important to understand that doubt doesn't disappear overnight. It's not a one-time battle, it's an ongoing war. Doubt will creep back in when you least expect it, especially when you're trying something new or stepping outside your comfort zone. But every time it does, you get another chance to prove it wrong. You get another chance to remind yourself of who you are and what you're capable of. One of the most powerful ways to silence doubt is to focus on your why. Why are you doing this? What's the purpose behind your goal, your dream, your effort? When your why is strong enough, it drowns out the doubt. It gives you the motivation to keep going, even when that voice in your head is trying to pull you back. Your why becomes your anchor, your driving force, the thing that keeps you steady when doubt tries to shake you. Doubt is sneaky. It pretends to protect you from failure, but what it's really doing is protecting you from growth. It wants you to stay small, to avoid risks, to never step into your potential. But you weren't made to stay small. You weren't made to play it safe. You were made to grow, to take risks, to dream big, and to achieve even bigger. Silencing doubt doesn't mean you'll never feel uncertain again. It doesn't mean you won't have moments of fear or hesitation. But it does mean that you'll refuse to let those moments define you. You'll acknowledge the doubt, and then you'll choose to move forward anyway. Because every time you do, you weaken its power. Every time you refuse to listen to it, you get stronger. Doubt will always try to speak. It will always try to find a way into your. Pain is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience. It has the ability to break you, but it also has the power to build you. What determines the outcome isn't the pain itself, but what you choose to do with it. Pain is inevitable. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it, and you can't wish it away, but you can use it. You can take that pain, that hurt, and that struggle and turn it into something that drives you forward. I think about the pain you've experienced in your life, the heartbreak, the loss, the failure, the rejection. Those moments weren't just random events. They were lessons, opportunities to grow, and raw material to create something greater. Pain sharpens you. It wakes you up. It forces you to confront things about yourself and your life that comfort and ease never could. The question is, will you let it paralyze you or will you let it propel you? Using your pain as fuel starts with understanding its purpose. Pain isn't just there to make you suffer, it's there to teach you something. It's there to show you what you're made of. Every time you endure something difficult, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. Pain exposes your weaknesses, yes, but it also reveals your strengths. It pushes you to adapt, to learn, and to grow in ways you never would have without it. The greatest transformations often come from the deepest pain. When you hit rock bottom, when you feel like you have nothing left, that's when you have the most potential to rise. Rock bottom is a foundation. It's a starting point. It strips away all the distractions, all the excuses, and leaves you with a clear choice: stay down or get back up. And when you choose to rise, when you decide to use your pain instead of letting it use you, that's when you become unstoppable. Pain can be a motivator if you let it. Think about the people who have doubted you, the times you've been overlooked, the moments when life seemed unfair. Use that as your fire. Let the memory of those struggles remind you of why you're working so hard. Let it fuel your ambition, your drive, and your determination. Pain can either be the thing that keeps you stuck or the thing that pushes you forward. It's up to you. You see, pain also gives you perspective. It shows you what really matters. It clarifies your priorities. When you've been through hard times, the little things don't shake you anymore. You've already survived worse, and that makes you tougher, more focused, and more resilient. Pain strips away the unnecessary and leaves you with a clearer vision of who you are and what you want. But using your pain as fuel doesn't mean ignoring it or pretending it doesn't exist. It means acknowledging it, feeling it, and then channeling it into action. Pain can be heavy if you carry it the wrong way. But when you turn it into fuel, it becomes light. It becomes energy. It becomes the very thing that drives you to achieve, to overcome, and to succeed. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't achieve greatness in spite of their pain. They achieved it because of their pain. They took their struggles, that was their hardships and their heart touches, and turned them into motivation. They used their stories to inspire others, to push themselves further, and to create lives that were bigger than their pain. That's the power of transformation. That's the power of using your pain as fuel. Think about the pain you've been through. Maybe it's losing someone you loved. Maybe it's failing at something you poured your heart into. Maybe it's the sting of rejection or the ache of feeling like you're not enough. Whatever it is, that pain isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning. It's the starting point for something bigger, something greater. When you use your pain as fuel, you turn it into purpose. You take the very thing that tried to break you and use it to build something unbreakable. You find meaning in the struggle. You turn your scars into strength. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. Pain doesn't have to define you, but it can refine you. It can shape you into a version of yourself that's wiser, stronger, and more capable than you ever imagined. Pain is also a connector. It reminds you that you're human, that you're alive, that you're capable of feeling deeply. It's a reminder of your capacity to heal, to grow, and to keep moving forward. And when you use that pain as fuel, it becomes a gift. It becomes a source of power, a well of energy that never runs dry. Every time you feel that ache, that hurt, you can choose to let it motivate you to take another step, to climb another mountain, to fight another battle. Pain is a part of the process. It's not something to fear or avoid. It's something to embrace and transform. When you stop seeing pain as an obstacle and start seeing it as a resource, you take away its power to hurt you. You reclaim that power for yourself and use it to create the life you want. Pain becomes not just a reminder of what you've endured, but a testament to what you can achieve. The fight isn't optional, it's necessary. Whatever you're chasing, whatever goal you set for yourself, there's going to be resistance. There's going to be struggles, setbacks, and moments when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. That's the fight. It's the battle you have to face to get to where you want to go, and the only way to win is to commit. Half-hearted effort won't cut it. Lukewarm dedication won't get you there. You have to go all in. Committing to the fight means deciding, once and for all, that quitting is not an option. It means making a promise to yourself that no matter how tough it gets, no matter how many times you get knocked down, you will keep getting back up. The fight isn't about being perfect or never failing. It's about showing up day after day with the same fire, the same determination, and the same focus, even when the world tries to beat it out of you. The fight is where you discover what you're really made of. It's in the hard moments, the moments when everything feels like it's falling apart, that you find out how strong, how resourceful, and how resilient you truly are. You don't know what you're capable of until you're pushed to your limits. And the fight will push you. It will test you in ways you've never been tested before. But those tests are what prepare you for the victory. They're what build the character, the grit, and the strength you need to not only reach the top, but stay there. When you commit to the fight, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop looking for easy wins or quick fixes because you understand that real success doesn't come without struggle. And every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every hard decision you make along the way is proof that you've earned it. The fight forces you to grow, to evolve, and to become the person who deserves the prize on the other side. Committing to the fight also means embracing the discomfort. Let's be honest, fighting for what you want isn't easy. It's uncomfortable, it's messy, and it's exhausting. But that's where the growth happens. Comfort zones don't build champions. If you're not willing to get uncomfortable, to stretch yourself, to step into the unknown, then you're not really in the fight. The fight demands that you give everything you have and then some. And let's not forget, the fight isn't just about external battles. Sometimes the hardest fight is the one happening inside you. It's the fight against self-doubt, against fear, against the voice in your head telling you to give up. It's the fight to keep believing in yourself when no one else does. It's the fight to stay focused and disciplined when distractions are pulling you in every direction. Winning that internal battle is just as important as overcoming any external obstacle, because the fight starts in your mind. Committing to the fight means understanding that setbacks are part of the process. You're going to fall. You're going to fail. But failure isn't the end, it's part of the journey. Every time you stumble, you're being given an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to come back stronger. The fight isn't about never falling, it's about never staying down. It's about picking yourself up, brushing yourself off, and getting back in the ring no matter how many times it takes. When you commit to the fight, you stop making excuses, you stop blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck. You take ownership of your journey. You take responsibility for your progress, your choices, and your effort. The fight doesn't care about your excuses. It only cares about your actions. And when you step up, when you put in the work, when you refuse to give up, the fight rewards you. The fight is where you find your purpose. It's where you discover why you're doing this in the first place. When the road gets hard and you feel like giving up, your purpose is what keeps you going. It's what reminds you that this isn't just about you. It's about the people you're doing this for, the impact you want to make, the legacy you want to leave. Your purpose is your fuel, and it's what gives you the strength to keep fighting, even when the odds seem impossible. Committing to the fight means accepting that the journey won't always be fair. Life will throw curveballs at you. You'll face challenges you didn't see coming. But fairness doesn't determine your success, your commitment does. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And when you choose to keep fighting, no matter what, you take back the power. The fight is personal. It's not about competing with anyone else, it's about competing with yourself. It's about being better today than you were. In life, challenges will come, doubts will creep in, and pain will test your resolve, but you have everything it takes to rise above it all. Recognize your power, acknowledge the strength within you. Embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. Focus on the process instead of instant results, and silence the voice of doubt with unwavering belief in yourself. Let your pain become the fuel that drives you forward, turning every setback into a step up. And most importantly, commit fully to the fight. Half measures won't cut it. You have to give your all every single day. This journey is not for the faint of heart, but the victory is worth every struggle. You are not defined by the battles you face, but by the way you rise to meet them. Remember, you've got this because everything you need to succeed is already inside you. Now go prove it.